Hello, I'm Maruk Said, your microbiology guide. Let's explore in-depth micro techniques and uncover groundbreaking insight together on this educational journey into the fascinating realms of microbes.
Can you see this cool thread floating inside this Eppendorf tube? This is your DNA. Watch and learn step-to-step procedure to isolate your DNA from your blood sample. Isn't it cool? This is done through DNA extraction method. I will teach you how to isolate. So, let's start. I have made another step-to-step protocol extraction from bacterial sample. You can check it out. Please do subscribe for me to bring more of these types of videos. First, we need to let our blood sample sit at room temperature for about half an hour. This helps in the stabilization of the sample. Remember to handle all biological samples with care and use proper protective equipment, like gloves and a lab coat. We need solution A, then solution B, RNase-free Eppendorf tubes, micropipettes and its tips, which is autoclaved. Now let's take 750 microliters of blood and add it to an Eppendorf tube. To this, we add 750 microliters of solution A. Solution A contains a detergent that helps break open the cells by dissolving the lipid membranes. We'll mix them gently by inverting the tube 6 times. Make sure to mix slowly to avoid any splashing or aerosol formation. We'll let this mixture sit at room temperature for 10 minutes. Next, we centrifuge the sample at 13,000 revolutions per minute for 1 minute at 4 degrees Celsius. Always balance the centrifuge properly to prevent damage and ensure safety. After centrifugation, we carefully remove the supernatant. This is the supernatant, which we will discard, leaving behind a pellet at the bottom of the Eppendorf tube. Here, I am discarding the remainder supernatant carefully by tapping. Don't tap too hard or else your pellet could also be discarded with supernatant. Ensure you discard the supernatant properly in the biohazard section, not in regular dust bins, to avoid environmental contamination. And resuspend the pellet in 400 microliters of solution A. Mix again by gentle inversion. Remember to handle the supernatant carefully, as it may contain hazardous materials. This step helps wash the cells and remove any remaining contaminants. Centrifuge again at 13,000 revolutions per minute for 1 minute at 4 degrees Celsius. Discard the supernatant. Now, we add 400 microliters of solution B. You can use the same micropipette tip if your handling is precise, or if the sample is from the same source. After solution B, add 12 microliters of 20% SDS. And then lastly, 5 microliters of Proteinase K to the pellet. This will help lyse the cells and release the DNA. SDS is a powerful detergent that further breaks down cell membranes and nuclear envelopes, while Proteinase K digests proteins, including histones, which are bound to the DNA. After adding everything, start pipetting the mixture so it can work efficiently. Make sure to mix slowly to avoid any splashing or aerosol formation. Then incubate this at 65 degrees Celsius for 2 hours, or at 37 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Here we are incubating it at 75 degrees Celsius for 1 hour in an incubator for quick incubation period. We use a water bath or incubator as it maintains a consistent temperature for best results. After incubation, we will add solution C and D. Solution C is phenol, and solution D is 24 volume by 1 volume chloroform mixed with isoamyl alcohol. We add 500 microliters of a fresh mixture of equal volumes of solution C, phenol, and solution D. I have prepared them in a stock of both C and D, as I have 2 samples. So according to the number of samples you need to prepare solution C and D in 1 tube for efficient process. Mix and centrifuge for 10 minutes at 13,000 revolutions per minute at 4 degrees Celsius. Phenol and chloroform are used to separate proteins from the DNA. Phenol denatures proteins, and chloroform helps to remove phenol residues. After centrifugation, we collect the supernatant into a new tube. Make sure you label your Eppendorf tubes when you're working with bulk of samples. You don't need to be greedy in this step, and try collecting supernatant close to the unwanted particles. For good results, leave some of the residue of supernatant behind which is close to the unwanted particles. Then repeat with 400 microliters of solution D of 24 volume by 1 volume chloroform mixed with isoamyl alcohol. Centrifuge again for 10 minutes. This additional step ensures the removal of any remaining phenol. After centrifugation, we'll collect the supernatant, which now contains scattered DNA, into a new Eppendorf tube. Always label your samples when working with multiple ones to keep the process efficient. When collecting the supernatant, don't be greedy. Avoid collecting too close to the unwanted section. It's better to leave a little behind for best results. To precipitate the DNA, we'll add 55 microliters of sodium acetate. Gently mix by inverting the tube. Next, add 500 microliters of isopropanol and invert the tube several times. You should see the DNA threads floating in the solution. This is the coolest part of the whole procedure. It's a clear sign that you've successfully followed the protocol. Why is this exciting? Sodium acetate neutralizes the charge on the DNA, and isopropanol helps the DNA to precipitate out of the solution. Centrifuge for 10 minutes at 13,000 revolutions per minute. This step is crucial for collecting the DNA. The high-speed centrifugation helps to concentrate the precipitated DNA into a pellet at the bottom of the tube, making it easier to separate the DNA from the rest of the solution. After centrifugation, discard the supernatant. Wash the DNA pellet with 200 microliters of chilled 70% ethanol. The ethanol wash helps to remove any remaining salts and impurities from the DNA pellet. Ethanol is flammable, so handle it with care and keep it away from open flames. Then centrifuge for 7 minutes at 13,000 RPM. Then, carefully discard the ethanol and dry the tubes by keeping them in an incubator at 37 degrees Celsius for half an hour. Finally, dissolve the precipitated DNA in 150 microliters of TE or 100 microliters of PCR water. TE buffer protects DNA from degradation, while PCR water is nucleus-free to avoid DNA degradation. Incubate it overnight at 37 degrees C. And there you have it. From blood to DNA, we've successfully extracted DNA that can now be used for various genetic analyses. Look at those beautiful DNA threads. Isn't it amazing how much information is contained within these tiny strands? Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped you. You can also extract DNA from microbiological samples as well. Also, you can check out the water testing protocol as well.